Hey, crotch rot. I'm gonna slurp my lifer's juice out of my own cup.
Yeah, I guess I should have gotten shots beforehand.
Anything else, General?
No, that's fine.
What are all those medals?
I'll never tell. At least not while the sun's shining.
I love that movie. It's not accurate, but it's a good film. It's got so many problems with it. And it was going into the production, it had problems. The U.S. Army refused to work on the film because you have to go to each branch and the Department of Defense to get approval for your screenplay for the Department of Defense or any of its branches to support your film. And the original film was, of course, Army because it was the second ID that fought on Hamburger Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Not Marines, fucking Army. And this is a big thing. A lot of people forget the hubbub that veterans of Korean War were pissed at this movie when it came out. They refused to go see it for its depiction of U.S. Marines serving at the Battle of, for Hamburger Hill. I forget what the number was, Hill something 09. But they couldn't get the Army to help, and they needed the help to get the military stuff in there. So, because if you didn't know this, and this is something that Taylor Gray talks about, the guy that is the military advisor for SEAL Team. He says that if you leave it to Hollywood people, they will throw in whatever they've got at the studio into the movie. Doesn't matter if it's the right equipment. They don't care.
Yeah.
And so that was why military advisors started happening in film and television, because they would beg, borrow, and steal to get as much realism into something as possible. And in fact, there's a great interview on Sean, former Navy SEAL, has his own show on YouTube where he interviewed Gray, and Gray was talking about how he would call all of his military buddies to help him, and they would bring their own actual gear to the set to make sure they had the right gear in the show for Navy SEALs first few seasons, because Paramount CBS didn't want to put any money into it. And the same thing happened here. The studios didn't want to pay for any good equipment. Clint Eastwood tried to finagle a deal with U.S. Army. U.S. Army said, we read your script. No. And so they shifted and made it Marines, and the U.S. Marine Corps chomping on some crayons said, yeah, we'll do it. Yeah. We're the few, the proud of the Marines. Because, yeah, they're fucking badass hombres, dude. But they didn't have anybody to really scrutinize that screenplay. And they agreed. And then they got about 3/4 of the way through production. And the Marines were like, wait, what the fuck kind of movie is this again? And they pulled out. They're like, It's like, I wanted to make a sex joke, but I'm not going to. But there's a lot of pulling out early, out of panic because something happened. And Marine Corps said, "Oh, fuck you," and refused to assist any further. And so the last bit of the film was done on whatever budget they had. They had all kinds of problems with the film, but they threw in some nice stuff too. I will say that. They kept in the phone call scene where it really did happen. Rangers had to call in to have a fire mission over a phone, and someone had to have a credit card. True story. Another true story.
They did that in Transformers too.
They did the scene with the bulldozer.
Yeah.
That actually was how they took that bridge. The rest of it's pretty much hokey bullshit, but it's still a fun film.
Yeah.
I think my biggest complaint in the film is at the end, because Profile got killed during combat. And it's like he's forgotten after that scene. And when they come back on that C-130 and there's no coffin in there or body bag, his body in it, and they don't show somebody escorting that out of the plane, and that there's a little bit of somber remembrance of this character at the end, it pissed me off in the theater. I'm like, what the fuck? They forgot that guy died? I was a big fan of that kid.
I'm pretty sure they did film something and then cut it out, which is stupid.
I wonder that. I don't know if they did. I suspect they did. And I'm going to bet, knowing studios how they do things, they go, oh no, we need to have a happy ending. Don't bring that down shit at the end. We need a hero's ending. Star Wars ending.
Yeah.
Star Wars ending.
Didn't that come out in the 80s?
86.
Yeah. That all of them were like that at that time. Yeah.
Yeah. So, basically, a lot of little issues with the film.
Oh my God, the behavior of
that a recon unit would have a fuck chop for a senior NCO.
Hello. Yeah.
And that they were left to their own devices. That's like the basic training in Stripes.
Right.
Just
something that would
bullshit.
Never happen in a million years.
No, that would never fucking happen, ever, in a world, as Jack Black would say.
Not a recon.
Hey, we have a super sticker from Darius.
Hey, Darius, thanks a lot, man. I'm going to bet money that that's a cup of coffee and a pear.
Exactly.
Thank you, sir, for all your support. But basically, there's so many complaints about this film. I'm telling you, Korean War veterans were outraged over what they did, because Hamburger Hill is a true story. And it was, like I said, 2nd Infantry Division. That's the Tomahawks, the Indian chief, the star, Patch. These guys were tough hombres. They were the first experimental unit used in Iraq for the strikers.
Yeah.
Well, I have the video for Darius, and here we go.
Hey, here's your free cup of coffee from a lady in Rhode Island. What?
And but anyway, suffice to say, we watched the movie yesterday. I introduced Anima to it. She really enjoyed it. It was fun, because that's what it is. It's a fun show. Kind of check your brain at the door.
Yes.
It was definitely nice to do a fun movie for Military Monday for a change.
It's just, even though it's based on an actual incident with us going into Grenada, they took a lot of liberties with this movie. They really did. But they throw a lot of pro-America, pro-Marine stuff in there that I really do like. UA, Army says hua, and Marines go oorah, oorah.
Yep.
Marine Corps.
If you guys are confused about why he keeps bringing up Hamburger Hill, it's because these the main
he and the sergeant major
are vets of that battle. So.
They're the only 2 survivors from their unit.
Yeah, and they're Marines, right? So there's a problem with that.
Historically. And it's the same thing with Grenada, or Grenada, however you want to pronounce it. Again, that was Army.
Mm-hmm.
There was a Navy SEAL team that got locked down there, and there were Marines, but they were not doing what these guys did. That was Army Rangers all the way.
That's Hollywood for you.
Yeah, I can tell you that was in the fall of '86 that happened, because I was in basic training and I was in the infirmary with an upper respiratory infection, and my mom calls all over the base looking for me because Grenada broke out. You know, I had to explain to her, no, I'm in training. They don't send us after stuff like that. We're not ready for that yet.
Another thing I will say about this movie is you won't get movies like this anymore, where they the shit talk in this movie is so insulting to certain groups that they would absolutely it's the hashtag, the check mark groups out there.
Oh yeah,
were so angry about this movie because they use the F word, and I'm not talking about the word fuck. Mm-mm. I'm talking about the F word is using it. In fact, a character gets called that in the movie.
Cigarettes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I do want to say, because I don't think Tom's going to make it. Tom wanted to talk about it at one point because he's the one who made me aware. I never really caught the fact that. Forgetti is Stallone from Cobra.
Yeah,
and
of course he is. He's got the sunglasses and everything. Yeah,
and the Swede is Arnold, and it was his way of saying that he's the real original action hero,
right?
And that they're in his platoon, and I thought that was funny. Eastwood doing that. Very cool.
Yep.
But Forgetti's character, you can imagine what his name was. It was F.A.G. Eddie. And the Swede never gets his... The funny part is, towards the third act of the film, he drops the whole nickname thing.
Yeah.
Because he calls Profile... I mean, Profile's name should be Profile, because he's such a fuck job. But he calls him Prophylactic, and I'm like, his name was Profile. That's one of the most insulting things you can say to a soldier.
You're on Profile.
Calling him a profile, But threw that away. But still, there's so many cool things in the film, and in the third act, he drops all of the nicknames except for the Swede, because that's the only name they really. His name is Johansson, but nobody calls him by his real name ever. He's just called Swede. But again, none of that shit would have happened that way. I was also annoyed with when they do show them get the high and tights, that Mario Van Peebles high and tights still garbage. He's got way too much fucking hair.
Oh yeah. He's still the Ayatollah of rock and roll at that point.
Yeah, the Ayatollah of rock and roll. I got to tell you, I did not like him in that movie when it came out. I didn't like him every time I watched it through the 90s. I couldn't stand him in that film. But watching with Anima on Sunday, I was like, you know what? I like him now.
He's a talented dude. He is. Yeah.
How did that happen? Because I couldn't stand him as an actor. He's a terrible actor. I suddenly was enjoying him. Yeah, he's a terrible actor. His dad
I love him.
He's not the greatest.
I love him in everything.
Was a real actor, was a real director, real filmmaker. But Mario,
I was Mario half the movie, and then
I love Mario.
There's a reason why every movie he did after that was a B movie. There's a reason.
I still loved him. And his
matter.
TV show.
Doesn't matter.
Mario, look.
My criticism of him is accurate, and his career shows why. Because he can't act. He really can't act. He's playing a version of himself.
And
he makes himself so unlikable so often. I think the only film I enjoyed him in was that Android one, where he's a battle robot, and it was like the Terminator is going to save this woman and her child in the islands.
What was the name of the game?
Oh, didn't you like Gunman?
No.
Oh.
What was the name of the game?
I couldn't stand him as an actor. I couldn't stand his acting. It's so bad. But I watched this movie on Sunday, and all of a sudden, I enjoyed Mario Van Peebles for the first time ever. I was like, holy crap. All I had to be was almost 60 years old, and I can finally enjoy that son of a bitch. But
when you look at it through the lens of this is a guy who had his career in Hollywood because of his dad, and he knows it, and he enjoys himself, man, when he does things. It's not like he's controversial or anything. It's just
no, his dad was.
Yeah. Oh, his dad was very controversial. I know that. Yeah.
Yeah, Melvin Van Peebles, man.
Yeah.
Oh, in one of his films, they were actually like having sex in the movie.
Yeah.
He was very cutting edge for his day and age.
What was the gangster movie he was in? I know one of you guys knows what it is.
New Jack City.
New Jack City. That's it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Back in 91.
That was a cool movie. Once again, way over the top, unrealistic, but it was cool. You know,
I'm not a fan, but I do like this scene because here's how the movie opens. Let's get into this.
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood is in jail for drunk and disorderly, and he's telling war stories. I bang more quiff.
Yes.
You know, and all of a sudden this thug walks up, big muscular guy. You've seen him in a lot of movies from the 80s. Big bald motherfucker. And he tells Clint Eastwood, why don't you stop greasing up the kid and just go ahead and nail him in the keister kind of thing. And Eastwood with his, I mean, this is the voice of Batman in this movie.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
This is the version of Clint Eastwood that was used for Michael Keaton's Batman, where he can't even yell. It's like there's a scene where he's yelling at the guys in the third act, and he can't yell. I don't know if that was something that happened to his voice for real from doing this film, or if he just wasn't able to yell while doing that style of his voice in the film. Mm-hmm. It was always just above a whisper, you know. And so he looks up at this guy, and he say what to this guy? He's telling him, why don't you stop greasing up the kid, you know, and just do it, you know. And he goes, well, you know, if that's your sexual persuasion. And the guy's like, what'd you say to me? I hate Marines, blah, blah, blah. And he tells the kid, hold my cigar. And he's just going to go fucking whip the shit out of this guy. And delivers one of the greatest lines in an action film. He goes, why don't you sit there a while and bleed before you taste some real pain? Right there is where he says it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why don't you sit there a while and bleed before you taste some real pain? And then the guy gets up and pulls a knife on him, and he's a gunny sergeant in the Marine Corps, gunnery sergeant. And so he disarms him and beats the shit out of him, knocks him out, and sits down and continues his story about banging quiff in the Philippines or Thailand or some crazy place like that.
And that is the first bullshit of the movie. How that guy can have a knife
in jail. Yeah. Come on.
Well, if he stuck it up his ass, you can sneak a lot of shit in there. If it's county jail.
If you backboard it, Gare? Is that?
Yeah. Oh. So there he is. And this will happen. This really does happen in the military because my brother Steven did his tour in Vietnam, came back to the States, and lost his mind. His last job for the Marine Corps was to be security at the Pentagon. He refused to do it, went AWOL, and fled north, was in Philadelphia on his way to Canada with his best friend, John Green, and got a speeding ticket. Went to court thinking they were fine. Got in the doors of the courtroom, and there were SPs waiting for him. Mm-hmm. And so that's what you see here is this Marine is dealing with this judge. Judge is really going lenient with him because he is, you know, he's a decorated hero. Yep. But there's a Marine sergeant back there. In fact, is that a sergeant major? I couldn't see what was in between the rockers.
Not sure.
It was either a diamond or a star. I'm not sure.
I think it's a star.
And I didn't see it. So anyway, so he has to report now to his commanding officer, who's just not Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you doing this shit? Why are you drinking like this? And this cop's trying to give him a ration of shit.
Oh yeah,
The film does make cops look bad.
they do.
I will say that. Raz and Marines.
Yeah, but you make cops look bad every time I'm on the show. I mean, you know.
No, just MPs. I love cops.
Just to show you some love, Joe.
I'm going to point something else out that I do like about this. For the most part, they did a really good job with rolling their sleeves.
Yeah.
Yes, this is something military people will notice, how you roll your fucking sleeves. And they are correct, except for the sergeant major in one scene. He's got one sleeve that's correct and the other sleeve looks foobar. And my eye can't get off of it. Because when you see it right there, supply sergeant would have a fucked up looking sleeve. When you start to see curve at the base of the sleeve roll, you've done it wrong. It should be cut. A smooth,
sharp,
razor sharp line going around.
They do it
the top and bottom.
Is that accurate to the Marine Corps? Because I know the way we
Marines
did it,
the same way.
We used to sit there and we'd pull it up, then start rolling here, and then cover it with the cuff.
Yeah, we had a little trick we did too to make sure ours stayed that way during the day. I used to learn. I'm not going to give any bad advice out there, but how did I get my socks looking so fucking awesome in my Foot Locker? I went into the Army already knowing how to do the trick with cardboard. And I never got caught cheating.
You should have seen how we dressed when I was on a drill team in high school. I learned this. We took coffee cans to do our blousing. It was awesome, man. What you did was you put the blousing ring on with your pants down, and you wrap this coffee.
Look at his sleeves here.
Weighted down with
That's bad.
Quarters or something, and then you pulled your pants up.
Oh, that's awful.
Boom.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm spotting things that are just driving me crazy.
Okay. Well,
I would be gigging the shit out of these guys for their uniforms.
Yep.
His sleeves. Look, what are you, a fucking farmer?
Right.
I love how all the females in this movie, and it's the military thing in me. Instead of calling them women or girls, in the military we're trained to call them females.
Mm-hmm.
All the females in this film fucking all eyeball him. They're eye fucking the shit out of him.
Yep. I watched They Live this weekend. That guy's in it.
Yes, he's great in that one. Mm-hmm. But this is where Gunny gets his wish, and he's told that he's going back to Force Recon.
Yep.
And he says, "Hey, Gunny, be careful what you wish for." It's
because he knows.
You're telling a guy that's been in since the fucking Korean War. You know, I just think some of the dialogue in this is so absurd. You're telling a guy that is a mate. When you see him in his dress uniform, Marines don't normally have that much decoration because a lot of people don't know this. Marine Corps does not give out very many fucking awards or ribbons.
No.
You have to have done something really incredible to get a chest full of fucking ribbons like this character.
Well, even the mayor look at his decoration with envy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this where he stops and turns to the flag and salutes it. Yep. That anybody who served knows what that feels like because we all did it. We all did that.
Yep.
Wherever you were, the minute you heard, taps, you would turn where you knew the military post flag was and you'd stop and you would salute in that direction, even if you couldn't see it.
I live so close to Barksdale Air Force Base that I hear I hear taps at 9, I hear reveille at 6, and I hear the national anthem at 5 p.m. And
there you go.
On the base, if you're on the base when the national anthem is played, you have to pull your car over and salute the closest flag. Yep.
I have to stop every once in a while because I don't want to. I want to keep with the flow of the film. Mm-hmm. So we've got Mario Van Peebles here. We finally meet him. We don't know he's military yet. And he is the Ayatollah of rock and roll.
For now, he's just an annoying piece of shit.
Yeah, his name is Stitch. What is it? Stitch
Stitch Jones.
Jones.
Stitch Jones.
Jones.
Jones. Fucking Clint Eastwood is so fucking awesome in this movie. I don't care how bad a film this is. I fucking love Clint Eastwood in this movie.
Man, I love his signature.
Okay, there he is. Look at his fucking chest and those fucking ribbons.
Yep.
Like you said, Gary, check your brain at the door before you watch that movie and then just have fun with it.
Absolutely.
Now, one of the best parts of this film is the fact that right here we establish that he's doing something. He is up to something because he's constantly reading women's magazines.
Yes.
And the reason he is, as you learn throughout the film, he's trying to better himself.
Get his wife back, yeah.
Because his wife left him and he wants his damn wife back. And that is really why he is back at Force Recon, because he knew she was there.
Yeah.
And he wanted to go back.
He knew how to manipulate the system to get himself there, yeah.
So, because I've done that. I've manipulated the system in order to get me to where I needed to go and to get what I needed to get done in the military. And same thing with life. I did the same thing with my kid, because when she got kidnapped, I had to manipulate my job and trick them into doing what they did to get me back from Georgia to Missouri, because that's where I knew she was.
Mm-hmm.
You do what you got to do.
Yep.
And he wanted to finish out where he started, Force Recon. And Force Recon is sort of like the Rangers of the Marine Corps. They've changed the hymn. In fact, when I played it for you last night, Anima, that is a different Marine Corps hymn than what I learned as a kid, because they add air into it. It was on land and sea is where it was previously in the original hymn. And they changed because now with Force Recon, they do fight in the air, and you have Marine fighters, aviators, just like in the Navy. Yeah. So they added that to the Marine Corps hymn. But and I love that song. I always have since I was a kid. And I've told a lot of people that I wanted to be a Marine, but they don't have their own medics. They use Navy hospital corpsmen. So I had to go to the Navy and talk to them. And they told me I only had a 20% chance of being attached to a Marine unit. And I said, so what you're telling me is I have an 80% chance of being just in the Navy. And they said, yes. And I went, yeah, that's not going to work for me. And I got up and walked out. And that pissed him off, the recruiter. I'm like, I'm sorry, dude. I do not want to be in the Navy. I want to be a combat medic.
I have seen the Village People sing that song way too many times.
In the Navy. And
I was just trying to picture John Gary with his seaman uniform.
Seaman uniform. It was just a t-shirt and some blue jeans. Anyway.
Definitely didn't tell them not to finger the fucking trigger all the time.
That's another thing in this movie. Their military advisor. Clint Eastwood is not known for using the best military advisors. He's been told time and time again to use Dale Dye. And he always sticks with this guy because he's his friend. And the guy screws him over so often. But in this film, these guys finger the shit out of the triggers.
Well, he doesn't. He's the only one who doesn't.
Well, it's funny because trigger discipline was being taught in the 80s. I'm not sure if it got started in the 70s, but I know it was being trained into soldiers, beat into it.
Yep.
In the
Short
80s.
controlled burst, bitches.
This is your safety right here. It does not go into that trigger until you are ready to fire. Yeah. And you don't, it's like you squeeze, you don't pull.
Yeah.
It's a very relaxed thing you do to control your weapon. But anyway, so Stitch Jones is getting on the bus with Gunny, and Gunny's passed out. So he's going to steal his beer. and of course, he wakes up and threatens him. He goes, hey, man, I just wanted one of them cool beers. And he's like, anything that'll shut that hole underneath your nose. So he gives him a beer. And he goes, these are your magazines? He goes, oh, somebody must have left them because he's embarrassed he's reading so many women's magazines.
He's denying it all the time. Even when he's
he does it all the time. Like he does it with his ex-wife. Yeah. She catches him and he goes, oh, somebody must have left. She looked at him like, who are you trying to lie
Who are you
to?
kidding?
He even might have scored had he admitted that, yeah, I'm reading them to try and understand women better. But yeah, it's too much a man to.
Well, it depends on how you look at it. In the long run, he scores.
And I got to tell you, Mario Van Peebles looks like Vasquez from Aliens here.
Yeah.
With the bandana.
Mm-hmm. Mario Van Peebles just cracks me up, man. It's
Hey,
funny.
Do you know who's back? Don't you?
Ford.
Yes, Ford is back.
Oh, Ford is back. I didn't know what you were talking about. Like in the movie,
right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm like, what?
So
That's
Ford is back. COD, good to see you, man. Who all's here right now, by the way? Let's see who's here.
Yeah.
We got Penny. Anima says, "Fuck you, Bill." What the hell was that over? What did Bill do to you?
Just needed to drop a bomb to start the show in the right mood.
But that's in private. We got Socks Bulletins.
Dude, it's his private chat, literally.
We have FKHC 2005, a.k.a. Tim. Alex Moore is here. Darius Munchausen. Just another red shirt. Be seeing you. Scribe Light, the Peter Venkman fan site, also known as Venkman's Girl. Oh, here's that scene with General. And I like what Peebles does here with the, he says it's really dark in the men's room. And she goes in there and undoes her blouse.
Yeah.
Ford is back, COD. So good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good Monday.
I'm having a great Monday. The lights are on. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you're having all kinds of electrical problems. I'm just making sure that I went through everybody. And Darius Munchausen is here, the safest Munchausen for children. So Peebles steals his bus ticket and Lee steals the tip and doesn't pay for the check like he said he was going to. And he's fucking angry. He is so
just
fucking
little.
angry. And she smiles at him because she showed him her titties.
Yeah.
He has to hitch a ride to the post. And by the way, you get to see in this film the original LAV, the LAV-1, which is the smaller one used by the Marine Corps. It's the precursor to the Striker. It's like about half the size of a Striker. Striker is the LAV-2, built by General Dynamics, originally in Canada, but now we have a place right here in Joplin, Missouri. General Dynamics builds Strikers and other vehicles.
This guy is such too funny.
Yeah, the Sergeant Major and he are two of the survivors from Hamburger Hill.
Right.
And I got to be honest with you, I wish they had named this something else and made up some other battle rather than using Hamburger Hill. I think that was stupid on Eastwood's part to allow that to stay. And again, bad sleeve rolling.
Yep.
Wow. Now I'm looking at his left arm good, right arm bad. And that's the same thing later when he's a field judge during a field training exercise.
Right.
That they do.
Major Stilgar from the Fremen.
Yes. Now his is pretty good. His is pretty good.
You know what? That looks like he's doing it himself, and he's right-handed, so he gets the left one right, and the right one is just wrong because his left.
It could be it, but they should have somebody dressing him.
Yeah.
So that doesn't happen. And I get it. Like when you're out in the field, your shit will like come undone a little bit, and you're trying to make up for it. And by the end of the day, you look like garbage. Especially if you've been humping for like 6 hours. Now he's got a really good haircut right here.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. Major Powers he's a character. He's a character in this movie.
I like McGill. Everett McGill is a great fucking actor.
Yeah, he is.
Did we lose him?
Don't know.
It seems like we lost him.
No, I think not.
Is he still alive? No, he is still alive. He's 6'2", 77 years old. I love Everett McGill since Dune. I became a fan of his. I knew who he was before that because he was in that caveman movie with Ron Perlman. Because I knew who Ron Perlman was because of that movie, Quest for Fire.
Quest for Fire. Yep.
Yeah, Everett McGill and Ron Perlman were the stars of that film with Ray Don Chong. And the minute he got the part in Dune, I'm like, hey, I know that guy. That's the dude from Quest for Fire. In fact, I made the joke all the way back with Quest for Fire when I saw what Ron Perlman looked like. I went, they really didn't put much makeup on him to play a caveman. He was probably in high school, kid most likely to play a caveman later and not have to wear makeup because he's that fucking ugly. Now his sleeves look good. That one's dented in there. That looks bad.
McGill.
I love the LT here. LT here is your typical. He's got BC glasses on. I love that.
Yeah.
That's Marine Corps issued BC glasses. They were round on the bottom compared to the U.S. Army's, which was more square.
This
And
guy plays
they're called
They're
called BC glasses because no woman will fuck you
Birth
while you're
control.
wearing them.
I always called them Buddy Holly glasses.
No, that was their actual name, BC glasses.
Yeah, I know.
Here he shows up at the rec center, and these guys doing this would not fucking do this with a fucking gunnery sergeant.
No.
No hable. He would have smoked him right there. Walks into the rec center, and this fucker walks in and turns the music back on. He smashes it and tells them, report in the barracks right now. And he's just
this behavior continues. They just days in, they still show him no respect. I had an issue with that because that would never happen.
It would just Marines just don't fucking do that. And there he is.
Here comes profile.
Yep, that is Tom Villard. Tom Villard was a favorite of mine as an actor. He played comical, affable characters all the time in sci-fi and horror. And died in 1990. Died in 1994 of pneumonia from AIDS. He had full-blown AIDS.
I'm here
It's tragic.
Oh, that life as you know it has ended. Where's your bunk?
Yep. Walks him, grabs him by the fucking ear. And
by the earring.
I love that. Grabs him by the ear and walks him to his bunk. Where's your bunk? And takes him over there and gets the money out of him that he owes him for the dinner, but he doesn't have enough money for the tip that he stole. So he rips the fucking earring out of his ear.
And he's wearing a band-aid over it until the end of
the rest of the film. He's got a band-aid on his ear.
Yeah, he's got a band-aid on his ear.
And he's constantly talking shit behind people's back when they leave. I would have kicked his ass.
And he's such a pussy. What is a pussy like that doing with the Marines?
Yeah,
it's stupid.
No, well, I got to tell you, you've got these guys. I had a guy like that in the Army. I've told you about him. I love that. Here he is. He's all blowing.
How did they make it through basic?
I was going to kick his ass if he'd said one more fucking thing to me. That's the moment when he should walk back in and then he shuts up. That's what I would have done.
Yeah.
I had him walk back in. Did you say something? No, Gunny. No, nothing. Leave him quiet. I unfortunately knew a guy who, whenever his mom cut his hair, buzzed him, he looked like he came from old school prison. Should have been signed right there. I knew a guy whose mother used to cut his hair, and he looked like what's his name, the Green Lantern.
Hal Jordan.
Hal Jordan. No.
Guy Gardner.
Orange hair. Guy Gardner. Thank you, Guy Gardner.
Guy Gardner.
With that fucking Mo haircut. It was just bad. When I drove to Paris Island in fall 2005 to pick up my friend from Boot, I asked, why are you wearing Steve Urkel glasses? They're called BC glasses, yeah. And I lost it. BC, man.
Birth control glasses.
And when I learned that, I'm like, BC glasses. He says, yeah, it means birth control. It means no woman will ever fuck you while you're wearing these.
While you're wearing those glasses. I wore them growing up because that was the military issued glasses. My dad was in the Air Force,
Yep. And we found out in the Army that if you complain about the glasses in Boot, that they're causing you any discomfort or you can't see through them, you get to wear these, your civilian glasses. So John Davis and I found that out, and he wore his Kool Mod glasses, the wraparound ones, and I got to wear my John Lennon glasses all the way through boot and AIT.
I screwed up the first day wearing friggin' prescription sunglasses. I got dropped by every drill sergeant on the friggin' fort, dude.
Yeah. If you don't have the profile on you, they'll smoke your ass. Mm-hmm. He got in because they needed people, and he passed the physical. I was trying to see what that was in connection to.
No, about how the hell Stitch got into the Marines.
Clancy Brown, he has a form of acromegaly. You can see it in the size of his skull and the shape of his skull. Stallone has it too. It causes angles on the temple and on the jawline. It's too much growth hormone going into adulthood, and it causes acromegaly. Look it up.
Dean, it's not just how did he get in. It's like, how did he survive basic training? Being a pussy like that. How?
Yeah, I got to tell you. And so in this film, by the way, this is when he runs into his wife the first time and meets the asshole, her current boyfriend, Bo Svensson, who's famous for having played in the second Walking Tall. Yeah. And he plays the version of him that got murdered or died.
I love how when he's talking with his friend, the woman who tends the other bar, and she says to him, "Oh, so you're going to see her?" And he says, "Hell no!" And you automatically know, oh, he's going right there.
Yeah, he acted like he didn't know she was there, but he alludes to it. He says, because she says, "Well, you know she's here," and you know he knows she's there. That's why he's there. And I think she knew it, the owner of the other bar. And Marsha Mason is gorgeous. She is. I loved her in The Goodbye Girl.
Yes.
With Richard Dreyfuss. I love that movie. And she is so good in that.
Is she married to Neil Simon?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Because she was in another one called Only When I Laugh.
I would not put it past her to have married a writer.
Yeah. Let me look it up real quick. I'm pretty sure.
You know the joke, right? You know the joke, right?
No, I don't. Go ahead.
Did you hear about the actress who never got ahead? Yeah, she betted a writer.
Let me see.
Producers and directors is who will get, or executives, not the fucking writer.
Right.
Eastwood here.
Oh, yeah, man. She's beautiful. Yep.
Eastwood's character is scarred. You can see it in the lighting. I love the scars in this. And this is a scene where Bo Svensson shows he fucking hates Marines. I'll eat Marines for breakfast kind of thing. And he goes, I didn't know that was your general sexual persuasion.
Right. Well, you just said it right there.
Well, what do you say? Well, it's just what you said. You want me to just bend you over this table and bang you in the keister? You know, it's like, well, what the fuck? Eastwood is the best shit-talking character in this movie than he's ever been in any other film. He has some of the best one-liner insults in this film.
Absolutely.
Well, here on Gran Torino was...
She was married to Simon for 10 years, from 73 to 83.
She discovered it didn't help her career.
That's cold.
But she was married to him when she made The Goodbye Girl. Yep.
Yeah, I love that movie. Mm-hmm. And if you didn't know it, it was rewritten for Dreyfuss because originally it had Gene Hackman.
Really?
I'm sorry, not Hackman. I'm sorry, De Niro. De Niro was the lead actor in that, and he got fired.
Thank God they switched.
He just wasn't right. It wasn't working. And so they fired him, and they started talking to Dreyfuss, and Dreyfuss nailed it.
My God. Beyond.
Oh, I love this. Yep. Like, where the fuck are their PT uniforms? These guys are just big old fuck chops. Yeah. And so this is where he begins to torture them.
The t-shirt
take off your shirts. We're going to do PT without shirts on, which is really tough.
They tried to explain why these guys were so loose by saying their last sergeant was a lifer about to get out, but that's
it wouldn't happen.
Shit, yeah.
And of course, him with the aviator sunglasses on is just a no-go. And of course, Gunny walks. This is the Cobra character based on Stallone.
Yeah.
Takes the sunglasses off and smashes them at his feet. And they're all kind of mumbling, when Swede gets here, because he's in the brig for assaulting a sergeant.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all going to get right now they've got farmer tans. They're going to have all over tans when he's done with them. Because he is going to PT the shit out of these fuckers. He also tells them, tomorrow at 0600, everybody's going to get it high and tight.
Yeah.
And then he gets them out of bed at 5. He's just.
And that's, here you go. The PT uniforms, they vary in color, but that what you just saw there with the PT shorts, orange or khaki, with the yellow or gray and green and black were pretty standard for the Corps.
That problem is
and
they never get
I
the
think
right
you see
shot.
all of them.
He wants them to wear the
Because
shirt
he
he's
changes-
wearing, and they never get it.
Yeah, because he's wearing variations. Now, the shirt he's wearing right now is actually the shirt you wear with your basic duty uniform.
Yeah, it's your undershirt.
Yep. But later he'll have on PT shirts that have military shit on it. And of course, these guys get mocked mercilessly for going without their shirts, doing PT. But here we go. Another female.
Oh, man.
Look, it's in the house.
Sweet. You got it, Loki. You're welcome to join us, man. Send him an invite.
Oh, Jesus, not you. My cat.
If he's at work, though. He's probably at work. But here they are. They're running out of. They're so disorganized looking. Just they don't look like they know how to do anything. And of course, they're like, "Let's smoke him," and they take off running. He's pacing himself because he knows how long this fucking run is.
Yeah.
And they're all smoked as they run by this. It's not the Duck. I forget the name of that vehicle. It's a amphibious marine vehicle, assault vehicle. And he just keeps going, and they're like fucking done in. And I like little things like that because they show stuff that really happens. And here we meet and we learn that the LT is a studious guy. He's a really good bookworm.
He's a butterbar
officer.
It's typical butterbar. Yep.
He's got the rank and he has the knowledge, but he does not know shit about being in the field.
No.
He doesn't know how to be a soldier.
Book smart, no common sense. Yep.
Oh shit, you're moving. No kidding, man. I hope it's a good smooth move, buddy.
But he's got the glasses.
He's got the BC glasses.
He's a Buddy Holly fan.
He is completely unfuckable.
Yep.
I like this scene where he gets dropped in there and he has to pull him out.
Yep.
I saw guys get dunked like that and have to get yanked out of the water.
Yep.
Especially when they had gear on. I do like the way he wears his hat. He's wearing it correctly. And there's nothing that pisses me off more than when you see the major later on do the farm boy thing with his hat. He pulls it up and goes, "What? No fucking Marine would do that."
You want to talk about
no Marine would do that.
Yeah.
Army wouldn't do that.
No.
I used to give left-handed salutes to officers that their uniforms looked like crap because I knew they were reserves or National Guard. And I just left-hand them. Morning, sir. Left hand.
Now that scene right there that they're talking about isn't one of them. I can't remember the character, but he's having money problems. And
this is the beginning of the story of that character.
Mm-hmm.
But first of all, this is the most important part here. Again, he shows up for PT this morning, and he's in black. They are all wearing the same uniform, and he says, "Not the same as me. Shirts off."
Yep.
Like, God damn it.
And at this point, they are so intimidated by him, they don't even dare to look out the window to see what shirt he's wearing and throw on the same.
Right.
Nobody dares to do that.
Yeah.
And this is the point where he says, "Who wants to go have the I can't remember, day off or something like that. And he says, then go scrub the barracks. Don't want to scrub the barracks? Let's do PT.
Yeah.
So this is where he's already set up an AK-47 out there, and he jumps out on him and starts fucking ripping around him with the fucking live ammo, fucking AK-47. This is the AK-47 assault rifle, the preferred weapon of your enemy. It makes a distinct sound, or distinct
A
sound
very
when
distinct
fired
sound.
at
It
you.
makes a distinct sound when
Hold
fired
on,
at-
I've got it. Jesus Christ. A distinct sound when fired at you. Learn it well. And they end up quoting him later, like 3 times.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
fucking funny. Every time you hear AK-47s fire, that's the AK-47. It's the preferred weapon of our enemy.
Well, he's teaching them well.
And it's sort of like they're going through basic all over again, is really what this is kind of doing. That's why it's kind of bullshit. They're showing guys that are already Force Recon going through shit that you go through during basic.
Yeah.
This is something you go through in basic training, boot camp. Live fire does happen here. Now he's watching. This is the shithead gunny sergeant that doesn't like Clint Eastwood's character. And he's got his head right up the major's ass.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. This scene, he probably would have been smoked for real.
Yeah.
Somebody would have shot him. Whoever's running that range would have shot him. There's a really good likelihood when he does what he does here. They shouldn't have done that in the film. I think it's a mistake because the punishment he gets in here is for somebody who fucks up on the range in a minor amount. Because you don't fuck up. It's like one of the biggest ways to fuck up on the range is to not keep your weapon downrange at all times. All times. When you turn, you alter the position of your weapon. It is either pointed at the ground or pointed downrange. Never up in the air, never towards anybody. And they will fucking discipline the shit out of you. And one of the things they'll do to you is what they do to Profile in this. Making him run. And I've seen this happen actually multiple times. Where they'll make somebody run around them. And sometimes I've even seen that where they had a guy run around with one hand up in the air with his M16 in the air, and he had to hold his groin with the other hand, doing this is my weapon, this is my gun, this is for killing, this is for fun. Just like they did in Full Metal Jacket. A lot of stuff that happened in Full Metal Jacket happened for real. So anyway, this is where he has an accidental discharge of his M16. Absolutely, they would have likely either shot him to stop him, or he would have been arrested right then and there if he had survived the situation, firing it towards people. Because this has happened. People have been killed on the range.
Yeah.
Also, this is great. He's wearing an M1 helmet here. He's like trying to pull some fast bullshit.
Man, yeah.
You know, this is an honor of your generation. He is. So if I don't go to a pawn shop, I won't find you your Kevlar pawn there.
Right.
Yeah, that's a serious implication there, Gunny. I want that back before end of day, before lights out, And lights out, end of day, When they command lights out, that is the end of your fucking day as a soldier. You lay there in the dark until you fall asleep.
That's what we called it at home when I was a kid. Lights out.
That's the helmet I had, man. The piss pot.
We had it for part of one training, so that's why I use that image of me wearing a piss pot. I love those things. They were far more functional than the Kevlar because
you shave in them, all kinds of shit.
You can shave in them. You can cook in them if you have to.
Yeah.
They're great, man.
Yep, they are.
You can put a sterno underneath one of those things and cook your fucking soup in it and then wash it out.
Old pot. Yeah.
And then put your helmet liner back inside. And here it is. This is a scene where my M16's not working right, Sergeant. And fucking fires them. So they got him running around the platoon. And that's for a minor infraction, not for fucking firing down the line. They would, like I said, they would have either smoked him or they would have had him arrested. And he would have been court-martialed for that shit. But anyway, this is not about reality. This is
this is a movie.
Just fucking fun.
This is churched up.
I do like this moment here where he leans down and whispers in his ear, and he says, "Don't give the prick the fucking satisfaction."
Yeah.
Talking about the major because the major's angry about him.
Yep.
Don't give the prick it. And he yells, "Super Reed!"
Yeah, I mean, they built up your sympathy for Profile, and yeah,
and he yells. He
That's how
confronts
you know
Gunny.
he's going to die.
And he confronts Gunny, and he's like, "What did you say to that soldier?" And he looks at him and he tells him, "I said, I told him, don't give the prick the satisfaction."
Yeah.
And it's just, I love the fact that Gunny just doesn't give two fucks about this major. And here he is stalking his ex-wife. He's stalking her.
Yes.
Reading those women's magazines, sees her leave with Bo Svensson again. Then we see him the next day, and now he's got his yellow PT on. And they don't know what to put on, and they're all talking about Swede when Swede gets here. You know, or I think this is actually where Swede arrives, isn't it? Is this where? Yeah, this is it. Because he's got his fucking red ball cap back on. Yeah. He's like,
it's mind over matter. Yeah.
Yeah. It's mind over matter. I don't mind because you don't matter.
Because you no longer matter.
And he said, "What did you say?" And
yeah.
Like, Swede. And Swede walks out, and you see him, big Arnold Schwarzenegger looking motherfucker.
Oh, this
giant.
Guy's immense.
There he is. Like, clearly close to 7 feet tall.
Mm-hmm. Huge guy. He towers over Eastwood.
60-inch thighs.
Yeah. Eastwood's not a small guy, and he towers over him. Yeah.
I like this scene because he throws the punch, catches his arm, puts him into an elbow lock, and with his wrist, and lowers him to the ground with it. And he goes, "Lift your chin higher."
Another thing that never would happen, right?
He just fucking nails him. It's so great. I love this scene.
You actually hear one of them go, "Woo!" Like a girl.
This movie. Dad Man Walking's here too, by the way. Monkey Jeebus. All right. Crowd is here. Sweet's like, "I suppose you want me to wait for the MP?" He goes, "No, fall out." You know, and
you're going to become a Marine right now. Yep.
So they go do PT. Now they're doing FTX, and again he pops out on this lane, firing full auto at him. And the LT doesn't know anything about that. He's dancing around like he doesn't know what to do.
Oh, we have to go to commercial.
Oh, is it time? Yes, it is time. All right, let's pause this shit, and we'll be right back, guys. Hi guys, this is Gary from Pop Culture Minefield here on KGRA, and we're leaving for our first break. I hope we survive.
Did you know 75% of Americans
Hey members, the new KGRA DB app is now available on iOS and Android devices. Gain on-demand access to any KGRA DB programming. Download any show directly to your mobile device to listen or watch on the go. Go to the App Store and search KGRA DB.
Oh wow, we survived. Welcome back to the commercial break. Now for some more Pop Culture Minefield on KGRA. I saw a comment, by the way. I want to go back to that. I don't think he would be in the Marine Corps, is what I saw by Tim.
Yeah.
And the fact is, a lot of people don't know this. There are size restrictions in the military. And I almost got booted out of the Army because I'm a giant human being. I had a 51-inch chest, and I had 18.5-inch arms. and I was too big for the uniform. And they called me a fat body. I had close to about 8% to 10% body fat. And they called me a fat body, and I got pissed. I'm like, there's no fat on me. Fuck you. And so I was in the first group of the U.S. Army that had to be calipered. Instead of doing the measurement with the tape measure, they had to caliper my skin.
Mm-hmm.
And they checked it on my waist and under my arm and said, no, this guy's got no fat on him. And they let me in because they were going to boot my ass. And I had to have my sleeves let out. So I couldn't roll my sleeves up like they do. I couldn't roll mine up because it would come so slight. It was a tourniquet.
Yeah.
So I had to have my sleeves let out in order to be able to wear my uniform. So somebody the size of Swede would have trouble in the military because no military uniform would actually fit him that they had at the time. He would have to have special uniform made for him. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. If he was already in when he got big like that, that would be different. But if he was big like going in, there's a good chance that he would have been rejected for his size.
Wouldn't they order him to stop exercising once he starts bulking up?
No, not necessarily. A lot of bodybuilders in the military.
Oh yeah,
Huh.
my battle buddy going through basic, they put me, the 125-pound skinny dude, with the biggest dude in the platoon. They paired us up on purpose, and he was not the sweet size, but he was close. He was a big bodybuilder.
Now this is an important scene because again, a deal has been made for their platoon to go out there and be the cannon fodder for first platoon, and that's under the command of the major. And the LT he should feel like a shitheel because he's made this deal and he's not even going to go out there with them.
Yeah,
because he's going to stay back and be a bookworm. And
Gunny kind of protest manner allowed.
And Gunny kind of shits on him a little bit there with the line he gives him, and he deserves it. Now there he is. That's a sergeant major. He's a field judge. We can see the band around the arms and on the hat. Means that he's there to observe and make sure that if somebody now that's Miles gear. We had that shit. I'm going to tell you, it is so much louder than what they have in this fucking movie.
Yeah.
It is the most obnoxious fucking siren. And what happened with me is I was asked to be a sniper because I was the best shot in the company. So I went out and I hid and I learned. Now you see the thing on the end of the M16 there. It's a little cap. It's orange colored and it's screwed onto the end of the barrel. And it blocks the barrel. And the reason that's there is because you can fire blank ammunition now in your M16. Because with that blocking the barrel, it causes the gas to push backward and eject the shell. Otherwise, you don't have the fully automatic.
Don't have the recoil, and it won't.
Yeah, there's no It's you need the gas pushback to cause the eject of the shell. Without that gas pushback, it doesn't happen. So they put those on the end of the M16s. And the concussion sound of the rifle causes, and there's a laser on the weapon too. Every single time you fire that weapon, the concussion causes the laser to fire a beam out that's lined up with the barrel. And if you're aimed at a soldier wearing Miles gear, it'll hit one of those sensors on that uniform, either on their helmet or on the VBE they're wearing, and it will cause the alarm to go off. So I sat up about 75 yards from these guys. They couldn't see me. I was covered in leaves. And I took a rock because I learned that if it's the concussion, figured it out, that I could cause the M16 laser to discharge. And you couldn't hear the report of my rifle.
Oh, that's great, man.
And so I sat up there and they couldn't find me. And I had about 20 of these fucking sirens going off, people yelling for a field judge to shut them off. And it's like a cacophony of insanity. And that's where I got the nickname in the Army, Ghost, because they couldn't figure out where I was. And it's because I was cheating.
That's awesome.
All the time. Because I was smarter than them. And I figured out, I'm not going to let you know where I'm at so you can kill me. Fuck you.
Right.
They were looking for that report from the N16. They could not figure out where the fuck I was. They thought I was further off because they couldn't hear a report. And I was like right up on them. I was within 75 yards. And it took me a long time to finally admit that to my sergeant, and he wanted to kick my ass when he found out. So it's not mighty; it's just being smart, monkey.
You improvised, overcome, adapt.
Yeah, you did that a lot in this movie.
Yeah, they do.
But we had a guy that was bigger than me, monkey, and we called him Grape Ape. Biggly, biggly. We'd yell that at him. He'd come running. His whole body, his arms were just like Grape Ape, were aimed backwards instead of like running like a normal person. And we called him Grape Ape. Biggly, biggly. He almost got recycled. But anyway,
What?
Get back
What
to
does
the
that
movie.
mean? Recycled.
Oh,
You
goes
flunk
to
basic training, you got to go do it again. If you failed
Oh.
the second time, you get kicked.
Oh, okay.
Don't want to get
They give you-
recycled. No.
Yep.
No.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, I'll tell you about what recycle, because they threatened me with a recycle when I got a tib fib fracture, and I fucking fuck you. I'll run. I went and I did my PT test with a broken leg.
Mm-hmm.
I overdosed on ibuprofen, damn near had a stroke, but fuck it, I passed.
You were crazy.
I went blind. I was blind on the track, and Julio Davis, all those guys, Fisher remembers it. He's still one of my closest friends. They all ran around me. They weren't allowed to touch me. In the last 2 laps of the run, they ran around me. They had to keep an arm's length from me to guide me around the track because I couldn't see.
Mm.
And everybody
That
cried
sounds
at the end. We didn't want to graduate without you. Kind of shit. It was real faggoty. It was funny.
Yeah, but that shows you the lengths people go to.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
To
Look
not
at that
recycle.
fucking sleeve. Look at that fucking sleeve.
That looks so stupid.
Oh my God. What are you, a fucking farmer? Jesus Christ. Fix that fucking uniform.
Looks like a donut.
Yeah. Fuck, it's pretty bad. And of course, they're all wearing their boonie caps wrong.
Of course they are.
Again, it's like they don't look like soldiers. They look like guys that just got handed the hats for the first time.
Yep.
But I do like that they ambush first platoon.
Yes. Come here.
This is not the ambush I agreed to. He's yelling. He's angry.
We're supposed to die in a loud, grotesque manner. Not today.
And
Hi,
of course, the LT takes the blame. Oh, Zach's got it. Hey, Zach's is here.
Hooray! Zax!
Do I have a video for him? I think we do. Let me go down there and see if I can find it. Do I have a special video for him? I don't know. Is this special? I think it is.
Hey, fuck you, Kyle.
Yeah.
Nerds!
We're trained to improvise, overcome, adapt. I know. I forgot. But anyway, the LT stands up and takes the bullet for the gunny. And so that scores points with Gunny, and that's when Gunny turns to him and tells him Semper Fi.
That's right.
When they go out in the hallway. And it makes the LT feel like a Marine for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And he wants more of it. I want more of that. I love the way that felt.
That guy is so great. He really is. Everett is really good.
I also find it really weird seeing non-subdued insignia on basic duty uniform.
Yeah, that's weird.
We didn't do that. We didn't allow that. We weren't allowed to do that. All rank pins, insignia were subdued when wearing your basic duty uniform. Only when you're in your dress uniform did you wear the brass.
Right. Everything subdued. I know ours was black, right?
Yep, subdued, flat black, non-reflective.
Yep.
Eventually, they went to fabric, and that's what they wear today is fabric ranking, and I think that's better.
Yep. It's Velcroed on now too, right? So you can switch it out pretty easily.
A lot easier. The master patch is under the patch, so you just put your patch over top of it onto the Velcro.
Mm-hmm.
Much better.
Yeah, I want to recreate my uniform from back then. I especially want to recreate my uniform from Johnson Island because it was the. I think I've told you before. We were the last unit issued jungle fatigue, Vietnam era jungle fatigue for regular duty. So, yeah. I want to recreate that one.
So they do show a couple of times where these guys get alerted. They get put on alert, and they're out there getting ready. They think they're getting shipped out. Something's happening. We're going to war. But of course, you get these a lot in the military. You get put on alert, and then you get called down. It's like, nope, not going. This was a test.
Yep.
A readiness. It's always about readiness. Making sure everybody's ready. And of course, the major's he's got a wild hair up his ass because he's never seen any combat, and he resents Sergeant Major and Gunny because they're seasoned warriors. He's not.
Yeah.
I've not yet had the test of combat. I think I will do well, he says. You don't have a clue what you'll fucking do. And here's the clusterfuck comment.
Yes.
And I like this.
They're supposed to have, yeah.
I forget what rank this guy is, but he's probably a general.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't see the rank here on my screen. Full bird colonel.
There you go.
So he's a full bird colonel.
Nope.
And he goes, what do you think of the situation, Gunny? I think it's a clusterfuck.
Marines standing around with their dicks in their hands, waiting for equipment they should already have. Yep.
And of course, it makes him look bad as the major. And of course, you know, what I like about the LT is he has the look of so many grunts from Vietnam that were in the Marines. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Yeah.
Busting. He's like, I want to know where he is.
Yes. Where is
I ain't telling you shit. You can beat me if you want to. I will beat you. Okay, I'll tell you then.
Again, just not showing any respect. It annoyed me.
So he goes to the kid's house, finds out that he's got a big family, and his BAQ, the basic allowance for your quarters, isn't high enough for his family.
Mm-hmm.
And so he took on a second job. And you can't do. You will get in trouble.
You will get in serious trouble for that shit. Yes.
They'll court-martial your ass.
Absolutely. You'll be out of the military in no time.
So he gives money to him, and he says, "You quit that job, and you get back to being a soldier." He goes, "Don't get that look on your face. You can pay me back later."
Yeah.
So he does have a heart.
Yeah. Well, clearly he does. He gives a shit about things.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that.
Women's magazines.
He gets in his truck and leaves Stitch there at his house.
Right.
On the way home.
Hell yeah.
He enjoys fucking with him.
And she will not give an inch with him. It's like, you want to come in, have a drink? He goes in, and immediately aggressive stuff starts happening between them. They start falling into bad habits. And he's like, I'm trying here, you know. You're not being very dignified. He even says it at one point.
Right, yeah.
It's not a
For
very
a mature woman. And that's when she lost her shit.
And that's where she becomes a Marine wife and starts laying into him, man. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
You can tell why that marriage didn't work out.
Right.
Just a lot of anger and resentment. And they got to get past that. That's the hurdle. To the long, full relationship, you got to get past that. Learn how to let some of this shit go. And she gets so pissed at him, she throws that fucking 6-pack of beer into his back. And that's a real 6-pack of beer she chucked into his back, so it actually causes him to jerk forward. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, I laughed so hard. And he gets mad when he opens one of the beers and it sprays
spraying all over the place.
He throws one of the beers back at the house. Crazy bitch. It's one of my favorite parts of this is the relationship between these two.
It's realistic. That's one of the few things in the movie that's realistic, man, you know?
Absolutely. And he is trying to get his old wife back because he wants his wife back. Mm-hmm. And she's secretly still in love with him. That's why she's still angry. You know, the passion is still there. And it's, you know, when they're complacent and they're fine with each other, that's when the love is gone.
Mm-hmm.
When you see that reaction between the two of them, it is clear that there is still unresolved issues.
Right.
She's angry at herself because she still has feelings for him. She's not cool with that.
Now, that is a strong female character, boys and girls, right there.
Yep. That's
how you write a strong female character, right there.
Well, I like, because we still have to finish the first one, Anima and I. We got to finish Extraction. But I want her to watch the second film because there you see also a very good representation of a female combatant. I liked it a lot. She gets her ass handed to her a few times, but keeps fighting despite getting her ass handed to her. I love it.
I haven't seen either one of them, but you recommend them? Yes.
This is weird. I just received a message from Keith saying Happy Father's Day, and it was sent yesterday, but I just got it. That's weird. It's so weird.
Oh, man. She's losing it. She's hucking him out the house.
Yeah, she chucks the fucking beer into his back. I love that. Opens the beer and it explodes, and he chucks it back in the house. Crazy bitch. He throws it.
Yeah.
You know, he can't understand where he's going wrong.
Yeah.
He's trying so hard.
Oh, and her fucking, oh my God, her vocals are so bad here. Yeah. But she wins because she's got, what did he call her? Torpedo tits?
Banana
tits. That was it. Yeah. Banana tits here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And because Stitch knows he won. And he shows that he won.
House.
And of course, you know, it causes shit to happen. He gets grabbed by the throat. I like that moment.
Yeah.
Because he's all mouth until he gets grabbed by the throat.
Mm-hmm. And he gets thrown in right there with the gunny.
And guess who's with him? Drunk Gunny.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, shit. Wearing his fucking wife beater.
Mario. Super Mario.
And so Sergeant Major comes in there, bails him out, and got to keep the major. Got to keep the major from finding out. You know, got to keep this shit secret.
All right.
We have a breach.
Oh, shit. What did he do?
I'm just in my way to see it.
He is derailing, as always.
Again, you know, one thing I got to put, all they had to do was leave out the Heartbreak Ridge part.
Yeah.
And it would have been fine.
Mm-hmm.
But they had to say Heartbreak Ridge, and the film got protested by Korean War veterans.
Yep.
And they're
can't
like,
mess around with that. Yeah.
That was Army, motherfucker, not Marines.
Hello.
And here we go again. They're trying so hard to find that middle ground, to talk to each other, because it's clear they have feelings. And she, you know, she's the only thing that pisses me off about her is she uses Bo Svensson's character on him.
She does.
Like, you know, when she confronts him at the dance when they get deployed, and he just leaves. And it's a good moment. It's like, don't use a guy against another guy to get them to show love towards you. He just walked away. It's what I would have done.
Yeah.
I've done that. A girl pissed me off one time in the military. I just fucking walked away. I'm like, fuck you. You know, if you want to be with me, you follow me. I'm done talking to you.
Yeah.
And I don't like games. I do not like them. And there's nothing that makes you feel more emasculated than a woman trying to play mind games with you. Emotional mind games. It's always about emotions. And I shut down. I just get very quiet. I'm that way with emotions anyway, myself. It's like if people get overly emotional around me, there we go. It's fucking. There were no Marines at Heartbreak Ridge.
No. Now, is it possible that they switched services? Because my dad switched services. He was in the Army for 6. And
No. Those photos you just saw, that was Marine.
Wow. Okay.
Anima asked me the other day how you can tell the difference. I'm like, you know the difference.
Oh.
Army knows Army when they see it, and Army knows Marine when they see it.
Absolutely.
If they get bloused down, I will tell you this: if they're like shirtless and just wearing their cargo pants and boots, you might not know. But if they're wearing their blouse and gear, you'll know.
Yep.
Because Marines always got crap. They always got crap. And so they didn't look quite as good as Army did.
Nope.
In their field gear. I love this because now they know because the bartender told them what they wear.
Yeah.
But then the LT shows up in a white t-shirt. But I love that Gunny doesn't punish them.
No.
He doesn't react. He ignores it.
They adapted, they improvised, they overcame. And so and he's got the fucking calf highs. Everybody else is below calf socks.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like such a nerd.
Yep.
And this guy, this is a good actor here. He knows he's playing a shitheel of a character.
And he does it to the end.
He plays it to the hilt.
Yep.
You know, always sucking up to the major. And this is something that is really cool that is new to the Marine Corps is the airborne aspect. Because if you don't notice it, he has his wings.
Mm-hmm.
Gunny Sergeant does. And so they're doing a low altitude jump here from Chinook. And they have to hook up and jump, just like regular airborne.
Isn't the Swede the one?
That's Force Recon. Force Recon does that. Swede's afraid. He's never done it. And I'm like, really? How'd you get into Force Recon or not? Okay. So he does it. Like I said, they got a lot of basic and AIT stuff here that, you know,
they should have already done. Yeah.
Already permanent party in the Marine Corps. Now, these are the old is it the A10 or V10? I can't remember what the letter is. But these are the old parachutes. They've been used since the 1950s. And they just, in the last decade, got switched out for the 11s, which are square-shaped instead of round. And they got a great
ridge line.
This is the bear pit scene coming up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're racing to see who wins and gets leave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Marine Corps had 46s on as far as the Chinooks go. The 47 has the it's the tire section goes all the way from right behind the cockpit all the way back, whereas the Marines has the shorter one. Navy too. They both use the 46.
You know, my man here is just loving it. The field judge. He's great. He's loving it.
And I love at one point you see Swede get knocked on the ground by a small dude.
Yeah.
He gets knocked down into the water. I laughed when that happened. Because he takes two guys out, Swede does, and then comes back into the water like splash, 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 like he's on the beach. And a little guy just fucking knocks him down into the water. It's funny. And this ain't proving nothing. Because, you know, he thinks he's won it. And he's like, no, you didn't. And that's when the sergeant major recommends the sergeants decide.
He's a cheating motherfucker.
And so the major says, I'm in command today of this platoon, so I'll go in there. He wants to beat the shit out of Gunny.
Your man cheated.
Which is really because his conduct would be referred to as conduct unbecoming with his behavior towards this sergeant. And if he got caught doing it, he'd get in trouble for it.
Yep.
So I like this moment where Sergeant Major goes, well, you guys got to fight it out. And so the other sergeant there is about to do it. And Major's like, I'll step in. I want to teach you a lesson.
And he does.
And this is one of the scenes after the Marine Corps had backed out producing a film. This scene was done without the Marine Corps being involved. In fact, I think it was around this time that they said, "Okay, this shit's crazy. We don't want any part of this."
Yeah,
they're Swede.
It's good fun. It is not accurate one bit, but it's good fun.
Yeah, no, like we said, check your brain at the door and just have fun.
That's it. Enjoy Clint for what Clint is. He's an American.
He's an icon.
He was never in the military, but he loves the
Yes, he was.
Oh, was he?
He was in the military. Yes, he was.
Okay, I didn't know that. Cool.
Yeah. Now, of course, his
That's
MOS.
why you come on the show, Joe. You come on the show to learn.
His MOS is weak. He was a lifeguard. He was a lifeguard in the military. But he's still a basic rifleman. Every single soldier is trained in basic.
Oh, yeah.
So here he goes. He's singing about Gunny. I like this. All of a sudden, everybody loves Gunny. And that's when the other gunnery sergeant walks in and goes, "You guys have your chance to get your life back the way you were before. Or didn't you like it? Aren't you pissed at him now?" And they're like, "No, man, we're fucking Marines." Tell him to fuck off. And Swede comes in all menacing. I like it.
Yeah.
Here he comes. This we have a report that he was using live ammo during exercises. We ain't got nothing. No hable, senor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
nothing to say.
No habla. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's funny is their adversity. One thing I did like about this, their adversity to the gunnery sergeant at the beginning actually brings this unit together. They actually start working together against the gunny at the start of it. You know what I mean? But now they're sticking up for him. Yeah.
And by the way, the hokum that the Army didn't like in the Marine, for some reason, Marines accepted, was the fact that they would have a platoon like this. Mm-hmm. That would be all not doing their jobs. They're not Rangers anymore. They're just messing around because they're sergeants. No discipline. The Army says, no, we're not gonna back that. And the Marine Corps went in, and then the Marine Corps went, wait a minute, we had a second look, and we're gonna back out.
Yeah.
So here we go. This is the big dance, and she shows up, and there's the major. Makes a joke about a clusterfuck again.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty good. And
of course, he's got a lot of decorations, and that's something you just don't see a lot in the Marine Corps. A lot of decorations on a Marine. When you see that, I mean, they showed a photo earlier, and even I know who it is. Chesty Puller is the most decorated Marine in the history of the Marine Corps. And Chesty had a chest full, and that was his real name, Chesty.
Mm-hmm.
Chesty Puller. Have the photo up in that bar.
They actually
in the bar.
Him in Boys and Company seat. One of the DIs said, "Good night, Chesty, wherever you are." Makes him repeat it. It's pretty funny.
I'm going to double check. Chesty served up into Vietnam, as I recall, before he retired. I'm going to double check. Yeah, he lived all the way to 71.
Those dress blues, man, they're tight, dude. I used to wear them.
Best looking uniform in the military is dress blues on the Marine.
Yeah. I had to wear them just because of my job. The last 3 months I was in the Army, I was doing military funerals up and down the West Coast 2 and 3 times a day. And we had to wear them for, the 21 gun salute, folding the flag, pallbearing.
Right. Yeah, it's an honor guard is a job that every soldier is afraid of, but is so proud of when they do it. By the way, this is where she kind of threatens him, saying, well, he asked me to marry him, because they're sitting there, they're dancing, having a good time, and then she ruins the moment.
Yeah.
And right as she says that, and he says, well, what did you say? And they get interrupted by the fact that they've been put on alert again.
Yep.
Everybody has to report to duty. And she turns back and he's gone. And it's a powerful moment in the film. You just don't do that. It's just not kosher.
I felt so bad for him when she ruined the moment.
Yeah.
Like, how can you do that? Have a heart, woman.
Mm-hmm. She's being tough on him.
Well, there is a good explanation of what a woman is in this. Yeah, he's gone.
So crazy right someplace else. We're all
oh, wait, that's the wrong video. Where's the one? Here it is.
How do you write women so well? I think of a man, and I take away reason and accountability.
I like this scene, the elevator coming down. Eastwood looks so heroic coming down with that helicopter on the elevator, and everybody's waiting for him. He goes, "This is it. We're going in." And then
first they are like, "This is some bullshit alarm again, right?" And he's like, "No, this is the real thing."
And of course, the LT breaks down what they got to do in a more textbook way, and Gunny just gives him that funny look, like, "There's a better way of explaining this."
Mm-hmm.
And so they find themselves heading into Grenada.
Yep.
Load up on the helicopter. Load your gear.
And they're all pissing their pants at this point.
Yep.
They're scared as fuck.
But he didn't sugarcoat it. They asked him what was going on. He said, "Going to war."
And there's the Jesus nut. They showed the Jesus nut.
Yep.
Jesus nut is what holds the props together. It's given that name because if that nut breaks, you're fucked.
Mm-hmm.
So they gave it the nickname the Jesus nut.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about, of course, on the Huey helicopter.
Yeah. But I thought this part was neat, where they make the beach landing with the flippers and all that, and what they do with them afterwards. You know, hiding them so nobody knows they showed up.
Now that's that same vehicle you saw earlier. That I can't remember the name of it, but it's an amphibious vehicle that brings them to the shore.
Beautiful.
Now, I'm not sure where they shot this. I'm going to go look it up. Shooting locations.
It's
probably like Hawaii. It looks like Hawaii.
Could be Hawaii.
I was stationed in Hawaii for 3 months waiting on
Oh,
orders.
It was filmed. A lot of it was filmed at Camp Pendleton. No, Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. Wow.
Yeah, it's the Viquez Island near Puerto Rico.
Cool.
Viquez, however that's pronounced.
Shut up, Loki.
He's like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, we are on a schedule where there's 12 hours between meals, and it's crazy getting used to that. It's just crazy.
So the one thing I think is they really do a slipshod job with the combat scenes in this.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of budget went into it or effort. So it's real simplified. It's easy to watch. It's more like TV A-team kind of combat.
Right. Yeah.
Even though you do see guys get killed, it's not overly graphic or violent. I think they were going for that because I can't remember what was the rating on this film.
It's probably PG-13, I would think. I don't think it was R.
I don't think so either because they took a lot of stuff out of it. I'm going to IMDb to take a peek.
Yeah, also they were less strict about the rating back then.
Because by 86 we had the PG-13.
It was rated R.
Holy crap. And boy, this is a light R. There's hardly anything worthwhile in this film.
Yeah, there's a pair of boobs for like 2 seconds, maybe. That's a reason.
Yeah, but also the combat scenes are very tame, I think.
Yeah, they are.
Even when you think about other movies that we discussed that were really hard to watch or broke me even. Looking at you, Black Hawk Down. This is very tame, so I'm surprised it got rated R.
The opening scene in that is super graphic.
Oh Jesus, I've only seen the opening scene and it broke me. So this is going to be a hard one because we have to do it because they'll die at the combat scenes. So I have to go
great
through
choice
that
of movies again. Catching up on double speed. There you go. Deleted scenes. Way to go. Yeah, wait a minute. I can see this.
You sound so funny even at 1.5. You sound like a Smurf, Gary.
That's funny. That's Smurfalicious. Dragon Ruse is here. Deleted scene. Joined us.
We have a
even though he's more Gargamel.
Gargamel, that's what I am. Here's the bulldozer scene. This really happened.
That is so cool.
They grabbed that bulldozer and took that bridge.
Why not? What a great shield, huh?
Yep. That's military grade bulldozer. That's not civilian.
And he has so much fun driving that thing.
It's like, of course, I would have yelled, "Are you qualified on that thing?" But that's the sort of thing I would say to somebody. I'll go ahead and drive it. Are you qualified to drive that? Swede lost his headgear, out of uniform, firing that M60.
There's one part.
Profile looking like he doesn't know how to fire a weapon, as usual.
There's one part where they take positions on either side of that bridge. You didn't have a picture of it, but boy, big man is getting it. He is running at top speed.
Oh, he smokes those guys behind the sandbags.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got to point out, Profile when he fires looks like he's taking a shit. His ass is sticking out. It just looks so weird. I'm like, nobody taught him how to fucking stand when firing, walk with a weapon. How do? Because I told Anima the way we're trained to walk with a weapon is you pretend like your knees are rubber banded together. That way you have weapon control. That's how you are trained to walk.
They pull down the flag. Yeah.
Yeah, like we said earlier, the
he
military
breaks the fucking.
isn't very good.
It's a wood. It's a stick holding up the flag, and he breaks it. Sweet just snaps the stick.
Yeah.
He's man, he's just a kid for the emotional impact for the audience. I killed a kid. He's just a kid. But they're Cubans, is the big thing here.
Yeah.
This was a
Doesn't
Cuban
he pull
invasion.
a cigar off of one of them? Start smoking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he smokes it later.
Yeah. When it's over. That's when
you wouldn't want that giving up your position.
But doesn't he smell the cigar and go Cubans and put it in the pocket? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Department of Anatomy. Yeah. And it was a college, and the kids were all locked up on campus.
Yep.
Hiding, terrified of what was going on. Army Rangers popped in there and said, "We're American Rangers."
Yep.
Because they had to make sure they were told to identify. And so they do it in this, but this is a great scene. This actually happened in World War II with Audie Murphy. When he went into a house and he turned and there was a mirror, he saw his own reflection and he shot the shit out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like that they put something like that in there because it's very easy to get fucked with by shit you see when you're fucking frosty. There's a student.
We didn't get the boob slide? Damn it.
Yeah, it's not in there.
Isn't that the first kid that he sees? Is the girl coming out of the shower?
Yeah.
Now this leads to a funny moment where
Rob,
Profile
Joe.
says, "This one student kissed me 4 times. I think I'm in love." And then Gunny walks up and he goes, "What's his name?" "It's a girl, Gunny." Ironically, in real life, the actor Tom is gay. That's how he acquired the HIV virus. And it's so sad because he was a really good actor. I liked him. The last good film he was in was Popcorn, if anybody remembers that horror film.
Yeah.
It was a classic nod to the Hammer horror films. And this is where the major orders him to go up to the hill, but wait for them. He wants them to go up there and stage. Wait there for us. Do not make a move without first platoon. And so he orders his guys, "Let's go up that hill."
Yep.
And he's like, "Fuck it. Let's take it." But it leads to a funny moment because Gunny can't yell.
No.
And when the Cuban armor comes rolling up over the hill with their little armored vehicle with a cannon on it, it had a small cannon on it. There it is.
Yep.
They separate, and he's yelling, "Don't go. Don't." But he can't yell because he's got no fucking voice. Awesome for someone in charge of a combat unit not to have a voice. Right. So they end up going up in that building, and it gets Profile killed. Profile goes to that one wall, and the artillery round hits the wall, and it kills him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's their one fatality. And the LT
really blazed over in the film and just wow.
Well, from that point forward, it's like I kept thinking, like, are they going to talk about profile. You know,
Right.
Jesus, man.
I really want to go with the version that they did shoot something involving his coffin and then took it out because they wanted a happy ending. I really hope that's what happened.
Because
it just
it's a
feels
somber
wrong.
ending. It's a somber ending. It shouldn't be a happy ending. It should be a somber ending.
Yeah.
And I felt like the song that they play at the end, the marching band. Look, John Philip Sousa, great, but it's the Marine Corps hymn that should have been played at the end.
Mm-hmm. That makes more sense. But this is where they had to come up with the credit card and get the.
Well, this
phone
leads
going.
to that when finally Gunny gets there, and it's like, "Hey, Gunny, Profile's dead. We're stuck here, man. It's my fault." The LT said, "This is my fault. This is my fault." You know, don't worry about blaming yourself now. Let's figure out how to get the hell out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And then they find a phone, and he goes, "If we can find the phone line here, where it's broken." So they send Stitch up to look where the phone line separated, and he goes up, getting shot at. It's funny,
right?
He gets shot at. They're shooting at him. He's yelling, "Don't be shooting at Stitch!" And he finds the phone line, and he sees where the break is. He repairs it, goes back down below. They go to make a collect call, and they tell him this is not an American call. It's not an American operator's, or it's foreign. It's considered foreign.
Mm-hmm.
So whether he's talking to American or not, they have to use a credit card. So they're telling him we have to use a credit card. And Stitch already set that up at the beginning of the film that he's got a credit card he never uses.
Never go anywhere without my plastic.
Yeah. 3 fucking times he mentions it. So great setup. It's like, I've got a card. And she's like, "Are you serious? Is this for real?"
Right.
And I guarantee you that happened. Because like we need to connection directly to division for calling in a fire mission. It's like, are you serious?
That's like that scene in Air Force One where he's talking to the White House operator.
This is where he gets nailed. He goes out there, throws the smoke grenade to let him know, land on our color. This is something I've talked about before. When you've got helicopters coming in, you will sometimes throw out multiple colors.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that they want, because you never know if the enemy might throw out color grenades. So you call out land or hit on my yellow, hit on my red, hit on my blue. You're giving the command of which one is your colored grenade, and that's the one they look for. So, and he gets tagged by artillery round, knocks him down, possibly killed here. And you guys are like, "The good goody."
Yeah.
What do we do now? We're in some serious shit. Oh, I'm sorry, that's aliens. Maybe we could build a fire. And so up over the ridge comes these fucking Hueys with rockets and shit.
Love them.
And nothing better sounding than an Apache or a Cobra with that Gatling gun. He said, "We're not going to swap spit now."
Take showers till wee hours in the morning. You hear me?
Yep. A lot of gay jokes in this movie, a lot, and that's the way it is in the military, man.
I was fixing to say
I was just going to say that's spot on.
There's a lot of homoerotic humor.
Yep.
Where it's like, I don't know,
but guys, I mean,
if I got stuck with you long enough, I'd do you.
Jesus Christ.
So they've liberated everything, but they still got one more location to go. So this again, he gets the command, and Major's getting fucking angry at him. He says, "You need to go and wait for us. Do not take that hill without first platoon."
Mm-hmm.
And he goes,
he
and
wants the credit. He wants the cloud.
And basically, Gunny doesn't give two shits what the Major wants. He's going to take his men and make them Marines. He's going to make them, what do you call it? Killers and lady killers and heartbreakers. That was it, heartbreakers and killers.
Yeah.
Women and semen don't mix. Good one, Tim. And so, again, their headgear's all wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That bugged me about this movie, too.
And they almost shoot each other here.
Yeah.
That was so stupid.
I'm like,
How
what
they
the fuck are
approach
you
that
doing?
war. That military advisor was crap.
Yeah.
Well, Clint Eastwood uses bad advisors, in my opinion. His loyalty to friendship goes too far. That it drops quality. It's what led to the problems with American Sniper.
I still have not seen that movie.
I haven't, because I know the story, read the book, and because I heard of the problems. But Fahim is in it, so I'm friends with that. Eric is in it too. Eric and fucking Fahim are in that movie.
Really?
Yeah, two of my friends are in that movie.
Well, Fahim was in Echo 3, and we still had to drop it because the show is just so bad.
It's so bad.
Really?
He yells him, "Stand up, Gunny!" Be honest, all due respect, you're beginning to bore me, sir. What? And then, of course, you hear the helicopter land, and here comes the full bird colonel. I love this. Where'd you come up through? Supply? Yes, sir. Were you good at it? Yes, sir. You need to go back at it because you're a clusterfuck. You're a clusterfuck for combat.
That cracked
An
me up.
infantry officer. Yeah.
And of course, that would never happen. Not that way. That's something that you get pulled aside for because, again, you're all about conduct. And conduct unbecoming is speaking to a fellow officer, even if they're a subordinate, or beneath you. You can get in trouble for speaking to them incorrectly because they're always witnesses. And by the way, I do like the fact that in this film, you do hear Marine NCOs referred to as sir. And it's like that because they refer to them not just as NCOs, they refer to them as non-commissioned officers, and they emphasize the word officers. So they consider the fact that they do deserve to be called sir. In the Army, I work for a living, is how they
I work for a living. That's right. You don't call me sir. I'm a sergeant. Yep. I'm a corporal. Yeah.
Even though they're still referred to as NCOs, it's just they go about it differently.
Yep.
There it is. Lands, we got the Marine Corps band playing. This is a real base, by the way. Marine Corps Air Base. And they start coming off. And the first thing they should have shown is everybody on board that plane looking to watch profile being removed.
Yes.
And then they all like, okay, guys, let's go face the crowd. And then they put on the heroic, we're badasses. But inside should have been somber. And I'm pissed.
Should have had a moment there. Yeah, they should have. Yep.
Absolutely. Somebody, I think it was Sox Bulletins at the beginning of the show in chat said, maybe they left the body behind. No, that would not have happened.
No, hell no.
No way.
No, he would have been brought back with them. And one of them would have been given the job of escorting the body back to the family.
And they really should have shown that. It was wrong not to do it.
They should have showed somebody that was close to prophylactic doing it.
Right.
I do like this scene where he's like, yeah, I guess I'll be a lifer like you now. Life or hell, I'm getting out. I'm going to go get me some pussy. And so we see them walking through. And again, the Marines the band should have been playing the Marine Corps hymn.
Yeah.
Something specific to the Marine Corps.
They went full Hollywood with that ending scene.
Again, look at him wearing his... Clint Eastwood's wearing his cover correctly. Stitch Jones looks like a fucking farmer.
Yeah, he does.
Or a baseball
player. Yep.
Yeah. Put that fucking hat down, son.
Especially in a moment like that.
Now, these are probably actual military families and everything.
Well, these are people at the actual base. So I guarantee you these were actual Marines and their families. I guarantee it.
Must have been fun for them to be extras for a day.
Because they do a really good job here as they cut to the big hangar. You will see the actual air base that this belongs to. That big hangar there has the big sign, and they still exist to this day. Oh, he's captain.
And there she is, waving her little flag.
Hi, I decided that you're the one for me.
She's feeling guilty for what she did before he left.
She should. What a shitheel move.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll nail you later. Hey, somebody secure the hatch on that plane.
Right?
Fucking leaving it open like that. I could steal it. Everybody steals in the military. You're trained to do it. That's what we used to joke called recon. Man, you leave your fucking shit unlocked, we're taking that fucking shit. But that, I guess it's, I don't know if it continued. Yeah, it didn't. It ended there. I didn't have the full shot of that building, and it's a really good one. It shows the actual air base name. And I love that they did that they included real Marines in it.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that scene was shot early before the Marine Corps backed out.
Right.
Because the Marine Corps backed out, I think it was either the day before or the day of that scene in the water.
The bear pit, yeah.
Yeah. And the Marines were like, fuck, we had no idea how bad you're going to make the Marines look at this.
It's a good movie if you check your brain at the door, like Anima said, though.
It's fun.
It's
fun. It's Clint Eastwood being fucking Clint Eastwood, man.
Yeah.
Some of his best lines are in that movie.
Also, we're using scenes from that movie in our opening for the Monday show, so it was about time that we talked about it.
Yeah, you're gonna drink my your lifer's juice out of my cup?
Yeah.
Oh.
I guess I should have gotten some shots before I did.
Right.
I realized that like 5 minutes into the movie, oh, that's the one that we took our clips from.
So, but anyway, that's a fun film. I'm glad we watched it. It's a classic. It's got problems, issues that pissed me off at the time, still pisses me off to this day, that they didn't make proper changes to it, that they shouldn't have made it Heartbreak Ridge. They should have made it something like Caisson with the Marines. They should have done something that involved the Marine Corps and not use something that the 2nd Infantry Division did, because it pissed off all veterans that they did that. Because you piss off one veteran, you piss them all off. It's sort of like, a lot of people don't know it, because I got into a fight with Josh Becker once over the bridge over the River Kwai. He says, that's a great film. I said, technically, yeah, it's a beautiful film, well acted, well written, but it's bullshit. Didn't happen that way. Well, that's not important. To you, it's not, but to veterans, it's important. People that were in that POW camp, it was important. They were invited to the fucking premiere in Hollywood, and they walked out.
Uniforms on, it's pretty important. Yeah,
they got up and walked out of that movie, Bridge Over the River Kwai, or I think they called it. Yeah, it's the Bridge Over the River Kwai. It's actually
the River Kwai.
Bridges, because there were multiple bridges that they were forced to build, slave labor. They were basically worked to death, a lot of them. Those who survived were the strongest. It wasn't in Pierre Buell's book, the same guy that wrote Monkey Planet that became Planet of the Apes. Same author wrote Bridge on the River Kwai. He was French, and he knew who betrayed the POWs. It was the French officers. They were collaborating with the Japanese.
Damn.
So he lied in the book.
French collaborating?
Officer. Yeah, I know, right? No way.
No way.
Pierre Buell's a fucking shitheel for doing that. And what makes me even more angry is that David Lean directed that film knowing, he's British, knowing that was a falsehood, that it wasn't true, and didn't make the change in the film and allowed a British officer to be made a stooge. You know, he should be ashamed of himself for doing that. So I don't like the movie The Bridge on the River Kwai, and I'll never do it on this show because I feel that it betrayed the men in that camp.
It's got one of the most iconic scenes in movie history, but yeah, it's not a movie.
Holden was great in it. And Alec Guinness, his realization of how wrong he was at that last moment, that's great.
Yeah.
But I don't like that fucking movie. I'll never watch it again because I believe it betrayed the actual men that were prisoners of war.
Out of curiosity, could we do someday The Great Escape?
No, absolutely. We did Stalag 17. I would love to do The Great Escape.
That was
the
another
Von
good
Ryan
one.
Express.
We've got 1 minute.
Whoa, right.
What was your question, Martin?
Von Ryan Express?
Oh, no.
What did you say?
Not a big fan of that film.
Which one?
I liked it when I was a kid. When I got older, not a big fan. I'll think about it. I'll watch it again, see what I think. I want to thank
The
for
Von
being
Ryan
here.
Express, Joe.
It's Frank Sinatra.
Okay.
I want to thank Penny for being here. I want to thank Sox Bulletins, D. Bud Martin, Tim, FKHC 2005, Alex Moore, Darius Munchausen, just another red shirt. Be seeing you, buddy. Scribe Light was here. Peter Vickman fan site, which of course is Vinkman's girl. Ford is back, COD. Monkey Jeebus. Loki's Mornings of Mischief. Is great seeing Loki. Good. I hope you have a good move, man. Be safe. Dadman Walkie was here. I'm going to be on Dadman's show. I'm not sure. Are we going to try it this coming Saturday? Let me know. Let's see. Zax was here. Kyle. Dragon Ruse. Deleted Scenes. And I want to thank all of you for being here. It's Darius Munchausen, of course. I'm not sure if I said his name. I want to make sure. Yeah, he was mentioned. Okay. Thank you, everybody. And thank Darius for the $4 super chat. Everybody have a great Monday. And we'll see you tomorrow with the Chief. All right, guys.
Bye.
Those sons of bitches. Ma, I'm doing a show.